In the past 2 weeks, we got our hands on Xiaomi 12S Pro and Xiaomi 12S Ultra, which probably has the best smartphone camera of the year. While it shines, I think there's another phone that definitely shouldn't be overlooked, and that's the Xiaomi 12S, which is probably one of the best compact phones of 2022. In fact, the Xiaomi 12S is simply the Xiaomi 12 upgraded with a new SoC and main camera. They have the exact same design except for the new color variant and the Leica logo. So I don't want to talk about the design and other regular specs in detail today. Let's just focus on the upgrades, and I believe that these small changes make it an excellent device. Over the past few years, we've seen how most compact phones have some unacceptable drawbacks. They usually don't use the latest SoC along with a good battery solution. We had a similar bad experience with the Xiaomi 12, but this time, we know that Qualcomm finally broke up with Samsung and have their most reliable partner back. Well done, Qualcomm! I've forgotten how many times I've trash talked about the relationship between Qualcomm and Samsung. Let's get right to the point. Even in these mobile games that demand high performance, the Xiaomi 12S performs very well. It can run above 50 FPS for 30 minutes gaming in Genshin Impact under the highest graphic settings. Here are some other games and benchmark data for your reference. And you can see that when compared to Pro and Ultra, the Xiaomi 12S doesn't lag behind by much. Those users who love compact phones actually don't play a lot of games, but no one will complain about the device having top-notch performance. And more importantly, now they have got the new A+ chipset, which has been significantly improved with better power performance and heating. It may sound strange that this compact flagship actually has a better battery life than the Xiaomi 12S Pro. Obviously, the small screen with lower resolution plays a decisive role in that. For most people, a slightly lower resolution doesn't make a significant difference, and the 1080p display with a maximum brightness of 1100 nit and Dolby Vision support is clearly not out of date. But at the same time, another thing you should note is that it still doesn't support anti-flicker mode with activating a 120Hz refresh rate. Now let's talk again about Leica and the new Sony IMX sensor. We showed you a lot of photos in our Xiaomi 12S Ultra review, and I would say that while the 1-inch sensor is a big surprise, this time Xiaomi really raises an interesting question about mobile photography. Does a big sensor on a smartphone really make a difference? I mean, a bigger sensor does come with a better image quality, especially in low light. But if you have watched a lot of our phone reviews, you will realize that we have to look really close at the samples to find those subtle differences. Coming back to the photos taken by 12S, it is actually hard to say how much it has improved in terms of details. In many photos, we can see that it has a higher contrast, which makes it look like it loses a few bright and shadow details. But when you look closer, you will find that it's simply a trade-off in style, and those details are not really lost. And it's so stylish that even if you remove the unique Leica watermark, you can still recognize the photos shot on the Xiaomi 12S series. This is what I really meant to say. Xiaomi is trying to change the rules of the game from comparing the smallest details to creating overall style. No one will zoom in on the photos you post on social media to observe the details, right? Well, except for silly tech reviewers. A unique color style will make your photos stand out from the traditional vivid style. In the past, you needed to spend quite a bit of time on photos editing apps to get a photo like this. And please note that most users actually are not professionals when it comes to handling colors. I think this is a good start. Perhaps the photos shot on different smartphones will have a variety of unique styles like in the days when film cameras were popular. And consumers can truly figure out what camera phones is the best for themselves. I've also seen some comments that Xiaomi took away their right to decide on photos because there isn't a Leica off option in camera settings. But the fact is that you can still maximize post-editing by taking raw format photos on the Xiaomi 12S. I would like to add one more point about the camera system. Although you can set the shortcut to let the camera launch from the lock screen, you have to press the shutter on the screen or the volume button again to complete a snap. And you can't just take a continuous shot by long pressing the volume button. So can Xiaomi consider adding an extra physical shutter button on the side of the camera, just like Sony did with their Xperia phones? Compared to other premium camera phones, the very important telephoto lens is missing on the Xiaomi 12S, but it also has its own strengths. I'm not talking about this 13 megapixel wide-angle lens, but the 5 megapixel macro lens, which allows you to get a lot of surprise from another perspective. Especially when you see camera phones like the 12S Ultra coming with a large sensor are not able to get closer enough to shot macro images. This is the world you can see through the main camera, while this is the wonder you can only explore through the macro lens. I use the macro lens a lot for special shooting, and then I got some interesting discoveries. You can even use the macro lens to create your own documentary, although it only supports up to 1080p 30fps video recording. But films like this can be captured by Xiaomi 12S Pro and the Ultra. Well, strictly speaking, this is not a full review, but I want to express some of my thoughts about the evolution of mobile photography with the Xiaomi 12S, and if you want a buying tip, I will tell you that Xiaomi 12S is one of the best compact phones you can pick in 2022. It is perfect for those who like to capture their life with smartphone. The good battery life allows you to charge it only once a day. On the matter of designing a compact flagship, the only thing Xiaomi needs to improve is probably waterproof support. At the end of this video, I want to say that I don't know if you guys realize that the compact phones are being abandoned by manufacturers. Apple has already cut their iPhone mini product line even though it brings tens of millions of sales every year, which will further discourage other manufacturers to design new compact flagship phones. This is really not good news, so I really hope Xiaomi, Samsung, and Sony will stick to their choice because there are still some people who don't like those Pro or Plus phones with their ever-increasing weight. Okay, that's all for today. So what do you think about Xiaomi 12S, mobile photography, and compact phones? Please leave your thoughts down below. I'm Will from Gizmo China. See you next time.